All right, what's going on, guys? It's Nando back again with another video. Thanks for stopping by. And today we're going to be going over the Samsung S9 Ultra book cover keyboard. I think it's what they call it. Let's confirm, because it is a mouthful and Samsung does offer multiple. Yep, so this is the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra book cover keyboard. Retails for $349. If you're in the United States. And they also have a $199 version one. That's gonna be the keyboard slim, no trackpad. This one has the trackpad. So let's kind of go over what this keyboard does, right? Obviously it's a keyboard, it has a trackpad, but kind of like Samsung's strategy behind this keyboard. So let's start with the back here. So if you guys see this little flap right here, this is where it's going to kind of protect the S Pen. As you guys can see, I can lift it up and then I can go ahead, when I have my S Pen in, it kind of closes over, kind of protects it right there. Now, is this easy to open? Right, with your hand, yes. And if you have your keyboard and you kind of fling it, not necessarily, right? It can be replicated at times, but other times not. So I've only had it happen if the bottom portion, the actual keyboard portion, is attached, then I've seen it do that before, but in most cases, no. Then, if you're looking at the bottom portion right here, you have the kickstand, all right? So this kind of folds back up to this angle here, and it can just kind of be manipulated. And when you're holding and placing your tablet on a desk, you've got those varying degrees, but you're basically, this is as far as that's going, right here like this. Okay, now let's move on to the actual keyboard part, and then we're going to kind of discuss what I like and don't like about these devices. So you've got your kickstand laid back, and now you've got your full keyboard experience right here. And this is actually a pretty nice experience here. The keyboard itself is well laid out. You've got a pretty nice trackpad, decent clicking, feels good. To be quite honest with you guys, I've had no problem using the actual clicker, pointer, etc., etc. Okay. The bottom portion here of the keyboard magnetically attaches. If you see here, I let go, it's not going to like open itself. There are magnets that keep it shut. And then what makes this keyboard, I guess, unique or interesting, or not unique or interesting, or cumbersome or not, depending on who you are, is that you can remove the bottom portion and use your tablet as is, just protecting the backside, protecting the S Pen, and giving you the kickstand, which is cool, right? Because not everybody always needs to use the actual keyboard with a trackpad, especially on a device this big. If you are going to be consuming media, watching YouTube videos, Netflix, browsing the web, you don't need that full-on keyboard most of the time, all right? In my 2.5 weeks of having this device, I've only literally used or had this keyboard set put together when I'm actually trying to edit a video, when I'm actually trying to check some emails and type out some emails. That doesn't happen often, so therefore I don't need it, right? And we're gonna leave that for the end for who this keyboard is really meant for and whether or not you should get it. But this does make it cool. If you compare this to Apple's keyboard, you are forced with Apple to have both tablet and keyboard case together. Right, like what I mean by together is like if you want to be able to raise it, change the angle, that has to be put together. If you don't, then you got to remove the iPad and then you're using the iPad by itself. Obviously, there's third-party keyboards out there for both Samsung and Apple. Obviously, Apple sells cheaper keyboards as well, and so does Samsung. But the point of this is their premium keyboard experience. Those are two big main differences between both rivals there, right? With Samsung, you can have this separate. You don't have to have this always attached. This is magnetic. And as you can see here, the way this is angled, almost at a 90 degrees, if not exactly 90 degrees, is kind of a few of the things I don't like about this keyboard. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some things that I don't like. For one, this kickstand right here is super flimsy. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't know if it's just me or not, but when I'm actually pushing this forward and back, there's just a lot of like, I don't know, does it feel fluid? Obviously it has to have some resistance so that it stays, but I 100% prefer Apple's decision in lifting the keyboard, lifting the iPad from the keyboard and giving us that ability to change the angle that way. Because that allows me to have a lot more lapability, or the ability to use this on my lap or in a different surface that isn't 100% even than the way Samsung does it. If I connect, see how flimsy this is? And what's frustrating is you're not going to be using it like this, right? You see that a lot with those 2-in-1 hybrid laptops, but you're not going to be using it like that. You're going to use it or you're going to remove it, and then you're going to put it back together, close it, and on you go with your day. If you're going to use this on a lap, if you're going to be using this on a surface, because this actual portion here isn't like sturdy and it moves, it forces this tablet that's already massive at almost 15 inches to just wobble, to move. It's not a pleasant experience. It's not something that I would recommend. Apple's is firmer. I know that with my 11-inch iPad Pro, tons of times have I lifted it by the actual keyboard itself. There's no way you're lifting this up by this keyboard bottom part without this falling off magnetically, right? I'm not even gonna try to see if it holds on, or without it just plopping around like this and then getting close to falling off, okay? So definitely don't like the flimsy kickstand. I don't like the fact that the bottom portion, the keyboard portion of this cover isn't as firm and secured as Apple's. Of course, if you're looking to get this device, you might be considering an iPad Pro. You might be considering a different tablet, but I'd be remiss if I don't compare the two. Obviously, Apple and Samsung, the two biggest in the game. But, and I'm gonna say but again, but when you remove, you do have a pleasant experience rocking your tablet like this, and it actually protects your S Pen back here, protects the back of your keyboard. So, you know, you really have to ask yourself, what do you plan on doing with this keyboard, and in which ways do you plan on using this keyboard? Because if this is going to be solely on a desk, right, at home, at work, you're fine. But if you're going to be somebody who's going to be up and going, moving from one part of the room to another, if you're just going to be lifting from the desk to the couch and so forth and so on, I don't like this keyboard. I don't recommend this keyboard. And for $349 US, it's an extremely expensive keyboard. In my previous video and in tons of other people's videos, people talk about what they like about this device, what they like about the S9 Ultra experience, and they talk about the fact that the S Pen is included. But let's take a step back. The S Pen is included, but I feel like Samsung has raised the price on these keyboard covers, on these attachments, on these accessories to compensate for the fact that the S Pen is included in the actual tablet itself. Is the typing experience really good? 100% it is. Is the trackpad really nice? Yes. But then you also run into issues where the gestures on the actual S9 Ultra keyboard is kind of backwards from the gestures on the tablet itself. In other words, if you're trying to like four-finger swipe up to go ahead and open up multi tabs or you know, what's opened, apps in the background, it's backwards. On the tablet itself, you do it one way. On the keyboard itself, you do it a different way. I don't know if the pointer speed and how Samsung goes about using its track point, if it's an update they can do. I'm assuming they are, and they can. But there's slight lag right? There's slight lag between, and I don't even know if lag is the right word, but if I'm trying to use the trackpad to point to something, often the pointer, the cursor will go past or stay behind what I'm trying to go ahead and click on. And I don't know if that is something that could be updated. I know that in the settings, you have the ability to change that speed. Apple obviously uses that little circular thing that kind of magnetically attaches to the app or the interface that you're trying to engage with. So is there a perfect keyboard out there? Probably, but it depends on who you are and what you're looking for. Should you buy Samsung's official accessory for $349 US? That's for you to decide. Let me know in the comment section below if you have, if you will, if you haven't, and why. Personally, I'm not going to keep it. Personally, I don't feel like it's bringing me that much value because this whole thing together is almost $1,700. For $1,700, here we go again. You can get a gaming laptop. You can get iPad. This is more expensive than the Apple iPad Pro. You can get a lot for $1,700 plus, right? And there's tons of reasons why you should get this combo together. But you really have to ask yourself, what is it you're trying to do and where you're trying to do it? Because if you're just using your tablet with light scrolling, light typing, and things of that nature, probably go with a third-party accessory and you'll probably find it for half the price or at least save yourself $100 some. If you go with Samsung's official, you can do the one that doesn't have the trackpad, and that one is $199 US. So you're saving $150 there as well. With that being said, guys, overall, very nice accessory with some quirks and caveats. Let me know in the comment section below, again, what you guys think of this device. And if you can, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for those. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace, salute, adios, and don't forget to always stay geeky. Bye, guys.